right, and welcome back to another episode of the Laces Out podcast. This is week 6, and on the call we got Waterboy back, and of course we got J Bunk as well. Waterboy, how was your vacation, man?
Man, it could not have been better. I missed you folks, but was glad to get away from this side of town.
I bet. Sometimes it's good to get away. Bunk, how was your weekend?
It was good, man. Can't complain. Glad to be back.
I feel it. Well, I had my phone with me for a second. I don't know where I put it. We all got wins this week, which was great in the UCFL. I don't know if that's happened. It's been a while since we've had an episode of all of us being winners on the show. So, hey, hats off to y'all. I'm glad we got it done this week. Hopefully we can carry this streak into week 6. We finally, all got some victories in. I'll tell you who you guys beat. Bunk beat Hex, the defending champ. I beat Fink, another a multi-champ, and Waterboy beat Pete. And Pete, man, I just beat him the week before, so I know he's not feeling good this week after that, Waterboy taking you out, and then also myself. Yeah, you're probably not feeling too good about that.
He's missing his best player, he'll claim.
Yeah, I bet. he can claim all he wants, but the record will always be that way. And that's why I always get picked on for only having 5 fucking wins, because I have a great team and then trade them all away, and then, yeah, I'm just going to have 5.
You're on the pace for more.
I am on pace, but that's usually how it goes. I usually will be looking all right, and then I don't know. I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm not gonna hex myself on this. We're just gonna move on. Saleh firing. Was this news to anybody? Did you guys see this coming? Obviously, Rodgers is claiming that he didn't see this coming, and he, I think they said that they escorted him out and didn't even let him talk to the team. So, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Go ahead,
I would say it probably should have happened maybe last year, the year before. I mean, he's not had a whole lot to work with some of the stuff, with some of his players, I guess, quarterbacks and that kind of stuff. Everybody claims that, but I don't know, man. I wasn't too fond of him, but the Jets have been dysfunctional for some time.
Yeah. I mean,
but kind of hard not to let him at least address the team unless he had just divided the locker room.
There's something had to have happened for them to be like, no, don't even let them talk to the team like that. That's usually not how it goes. Like if you get fired, right? Unless, like you said, there's something going on that I don't know, man. That's pretty bad. We have Menace in the chat saying ownership sucks. So maybe that's the reason, because maybe he's just a bad owner, not letting his coach say bye to the team one last time. I don't know. Bunk, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching or listening to ESPN earlier, and Mike Greenberg kind of broke it down. Ever since, what's his name, Woody Allen?
Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson.
Woody Allen's an actor.
You've been thinking of that great movie, White Man Can't Jump.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And they can't. But,
that's a fact.
Ever since he bought the team in 2000, they've been a losing franchise. So it's a lot deeper than Saleh. They've never had a consistent winning team or winning culture. And I think it starts at the top. But, I mean, I think the whole issue is Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett love affair. I think whatever they've got going on or contact that they've got, that the writing was on the wall for Saleh, especially if the mention came of possibly taking play calling duties from Hackett or even firing him. Like if that ever came up in conversation, then Rodgers like went straight to the top, and I was like, no.
Yeah, like no, that's not happening. Either he goes or I go. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was a little weird for me. Obviously, like I didn't mind the firing or whatever, but it's also when they said like you can't even talk to your team after that. That's a little odd. I think something else is kind of getting brushed under the rug right now, so public doesn't see it. But I mean, that's the NFL. That's politics. That's damn near everything you see nowadays. So it is what it is. But we had a few IR like guys who are big players recently that just went on, and that's Nico Collins and Rashee Rice officially on IR now. Their injuries are pretty damn serious, so they are looking like to miss some time, which means big for Stephon Diggs, big for Tank Dell, and then obviously Schultz as well. I mean, he'll get a little bit more targets, I would think, as well. And then going for the Chiefs, Rashee Rice now on IR as well, and you're going to see more Travis Kelce. You're going to see more Xavier Worthy, and then it looks like was it Juju was popping off for the Chiefs? I don't know if you got to see that game, Waterboy.
Yeah. I was home for that. I got to enjoy that. We had beats and wings for that party.
Nice.
Monday night. Yeah, it was definitely a benefit to Kelce. I mean, I think he had like maybe 10, 11 targets, like 9 catches. I mean, that was more than he had the season combined.
Yeah.
So far, and they were just Juju was running around, wide open throughout the field. So I'm not sure where that came from.
Do you think that continues?
I think so, man. It's going to be, they like to spread the ball between Worthy, and you'll probably the backup tight end, Noah Gray, he'll get a few catches a game. You got Justin Watson, he'll get a couple. I mean, they're kind of really leaning into that. Everybody gets 3 pieces of the pie.
Yeah, they are definitely diversifying that lineup big time. Like they're just like, you get a piece, you get a piece. I mean,
which is good. Which I think that helps their offense because you never know. 2 years ago you looked out for 87 every play.
Right. Yep.
And now you kind of got to really be looking everywhere, not
it's
just
more
one location. So I think that's
yeah. I mean, Andy Reid does a really good job. I mean, to give the ball to just about everybody and kind of gives everybody a chance. And like you said, it keeps the defense guessing big time. So Chiefs are always going to be one step ahead on most coaches, on most play calls. So yeah, man, that was a good game for them. I kind of want to throw it back to last Thursday. I don't know if you got to see that game, Waterboy, but that game went down to the wire. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were up that whole game. Atlanta started making a comeback. Kirk Cousins was able to spike the ball with 1 second remaining on the clock. They kicked the game-tying field goal, go to overtime to win it all in overtime. So that was a big game for Atlanta because that's the kind of spark you wanted them to see at the beginning. But now it's finally, I feel like this team's starting to click. And I don't know. The Bucs have looked really good. They still look good until Atlanta just passed them up toward the end of that game. What are y'all's thoughts on that game? Like any takeaways from that? Because my boy Mooney on the bench in one of my leagues had 14 targets and 30 points. So I wasn't happy about him being on my bench doing it. I was happy that he was on my team though. So yeah, what are y'all's take on that?
Yeah, it was a good game, man. I had picked the Buccaneers to win.
Same.
As we discussed on the podcast last week, I thought they were the better team, but I gotta hand it to Kirk Cousins, man. I mean, freaking threw the ball about 50 times for 500 plus yards and kept his team in the game. And I mean, they were competitive. And yeah, I mean, Mooney was a surprise. I don't think anybody saw him getting 2 touchdowns.
You know what was another surprise? Fucking Kyle Pitts. That dude. The one time I bench his ass, he wants to pop off, and I think he had a career high that game. So good news, I split him up in leagues. I sadly have 2 shares of him, and I benched him in one league and then started him in the other.
Yeah, I tried to warn you that earlier in the season about Mr. Pitts.
Yeah, but
I can't say that my tight ends are not very good.
I mean, I don't think anyone did. We had that combo before you left. Remember? I mean, you're happy when you get 6 points from a tight end nowadays. It's really weird how they kind of just fell off. I will say Kraft is a guy who's upcoming, bumping himself in the top 10 big time for tight ends. His last 2 productions was huge. But did you get to watch that Atlanta Tampa Bay game, Waterboy?
No, sir, I did not. I seen the after effect and just read some of the stats, and I really hate I missed it. I'm sure it would have been it. Just by the stats and the score, it appeared to be an excellent game.
Yeah,
but hey, my kicker, he stumped on the pedal, so I was happy about that.
Did you have Koo or did you have McLaughlin?
Chase from Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they both put up numbers. I mean, damn. I mean, they were just scoring back and forth. It was just nonstop. It was good for fantasy purposes. Anybody you started just about. I mean, I guess we can go back to it. Yeah, you're happy with everyone on those teams, but you know who's I'm not happy about with is Bijan Robinson. This guy's low production has been. I'm like, hey, just give him another week. He'll pop off. I mean, he's a great running back. It still hasn't happened. Where is it at? Bijan Robinson and Breece Hall both are just, I don't know where they're at. This is the 2 guys who I like. If you would have said at the beginning of the year, who are the 2 running backs you would like to have on your team, I would have said Bijan Robinson and Breece Hall. I don't know if that will change for y'all, but for sure right now, if I'm an owner of either of those guys right now, I'm kind of starting to. I mean, my panic isn't a 10, but it's a 7.
And rising.
I mean, each week it's going up by 1 point, not a half a point, a full fucking point. So we're gonna be at an 8, and Bijan will not be on my team next week if he does not get 10 points.
I mean, they are playing an excellent defense this week.
All right, it will 100% be traded if he did. I don't know. Then I probably couldn't get a damn cookout tray if I wanted to. If he can't put up 10 points against the Panthers, oh man, I bet you Algier dropped like 30, and that's what's gonna happen. Bijan be like, nah, I don't even need to play against this team. Let Algier get them all.
And everybody blamed it on Arthur Smith.
Not Arthur Smith. Yeah, I know, right? But now Morris is the guy who's like, I don't care about stats. I'm like, well, I sure as hell do. So we got a problem. I don't want to own anyone that you have on your team now. Even though Drake London, he's on the upcoming. He's been looking good.
He's been a stud, man. I got him in our other league that's full PPR. It's been freaking nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is like, I was getting ready to hit the panic button on him not too long ago. So him giving me a little bit more like reassurance, like, hey, I don't suck. Once Kirk can just throw me the ball, we're good. So hopefully that continues. But since you didn't watch that Atlanta game, we'll move on from that. We'll go Texans and Bills. The one game Waterboy actually got to watch. You said you got to watch it a little bit on the plane or in the airport?
Yeah, a little bit in the airport, yeah.
So what did you take away from that game?
You want me to? I'll be honest and I hate to say it because I'm a fan of football, but the concussion protocol sucks. Because I watched Allen bounce his goose egg off the ground.
Yeah.
And get knocked out, and then one play later he's back in. I'm like, holy shit, because I was jumping up and down high-fiving a guy hollering about Fink sucks, and the guy beside me in the airport's like, who's Fink? I said, don't worry about it.
Off of an injury, you're saying, oh, Fink sucks.
And I was like, yes. And then and 2, I shouldn't say this because I played Allen in my Survivor League, and he gave me, I was like, the 1 week I played him, he laid a turd on top of that. So I'm not a fan of him right now.
Okay.
But yeah, no,
that's understandable. That's understandable. Fink still does suck. I beat him this week, so
he does suck. I mean, maybe the Texans are coming, are finally starting to come around. I hate Nico went out, but maybe that'll open up opportunities for Tank a little bit. You know, I'm sure everybody was gambling on a Diggs revenge game, and I'll give Bunk a little thing I just seen right before I jumped on the call with y'all. There's a possibility his Mr. Cook might be going on the IR with some turf toe.
Yeah,
I know he's Googling it right now. I hear it.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. I hope he doesn't. I hope it's not long term, but we'll see.
So James Cook will be out for this next game?
It's a great possibility. Yeah, they say
it's a good possibility.
Yeah.
So who's the backup over there?
Ty Johnson or Ray Davis?
Yeah, Ray Davis.
Did somebody have him picked up?
Now, I meant to look, and I know somebody's got Ray. Ty Johnson probably not. He's been with the Jets, with the Packers. He's kind of not a bad player. He's just been around the league.
I mean, so he's going to be the clear-cut back.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. For people who are watching this, that's another good pickup.
So that game had a lot of negative implications for all the folks with those couple big injuries. If Cook ends up going to IR.
True. And the Bills, I mean, I'm trying to think who they play, but I wanted to talk about the guys who had the bye weeks too, because this week, some of these top players who's kind of been nice for you, they have a bye week this week. So the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Vikings, and the Rams, all those players will be out here in week 6. So this is the time where if you have depth, or if you're just lucky that you're dodging some bye weeks and you're playing against somebody like myself, Bob Squad, I'm coming for you. You don't have Mahomes, you don't have Kelsey, and you don't have Achane. I don't know what to tell you, man, but I'm going to say you're not going to be King Bob after this week.
Guaranteed. I tried to bet him earlier that he won't break 100, and he wouldn't even do that. That's how confident the man is.
I mean, well, even going back to just not just those guys, but I mean the Vikings, they're not going to have, you don't have Jefferson, so those guys who picked Jefferson early on in their rounds, he's gone. Obviously Tyreek Hill, Achane, I mean Waddle really hasn't been startable for a long time, but the Chiefs, then you go to Kelsey, Mahomes, all those players who were really just needed a running back the other week just to get Hunt in, and now they have Hunt, but now he's on a bye. So there's a lot of buys here. So are you guys affected this week by buys, as in positive, negative?
I think I'm good. I'm hoping to get Mr. Brown back after his bye, so I should be clear.
Yeah.
Hopefully put me in the positive position, and hopefully his injury is healed as well.
So is he questionable? Is he actually possibly coming back week 6?
Possibly, yes.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. I thought it was gonna be like week 7 whenever. So
he was a full practice participant today.
Oh, Waterboy, you might have your guy back.
Yeah, so I'm long as we don't go through some of the hamstring scenarios, he comes back early and he goes back out, because I seem to fight that year over year.
Yeah, hamstrings are tough, especially if he's just warming up on a Sunday and that thing just starts tightening up on him. He's gonna be like, all right, can't play, give me one more week.
Give me one more week.
Hey, make sure you watch, because sometimes that will happen. So make sure you watch before game time. Make sure your lineups are set. No one's pulling a hammy. But yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that AJ was gonna be back. Which
yeah,
I think that's going to help out the Devontae Smith. I know I talked about this pre-show, but Devontae Smith I think is going to be a real big factor now with AJ back, because he was playing the outside because he was their best guy. He's not that guy who plays on the outside, and now having him on the inside where you know, that's his bread and butter. He's going to be feeling a lot better. I think you're going to get some fantasy productivity out of him.
I definitely agree with that 100%. But, you know, AJ's still the man with the plan.
That is true. I mean, AJ can do wonders for that team. I really, because that team's really been slipping, man. But the one game that I wanted to highlight was the Commanders game. You know, they got a tough game. Who's their opponent right now? They're going up against
this week coming up.
Yeah.
Is it the Ravens?
Yeah, the Ravens. And the Ravens have been rolling. Commanders have been rolling. I think it's going to be a possibly high-scoring game. I feel like that means I'm going to have them in my FanDuel lineup, so I'm going to try to throw them in all of my regular teams. I mean, fantasy lineups. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this Ravens-Commanders game? I picked the Ravens, but I don't know, man. Commanders, that's a tough team right now. They've been toughing it out the last few weeks.
I mean, yeah, you think we'll see another Ravens game like the Ravens and Bengals game the other day with the Commanders? I mean, the Commanders been, you know, terrible defense, but Daniels and the four in the gang been putting it up over there. But
that's the thing.
I see a game likened to the Bengals game. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it comes down to that bad defense for Washington right now. I think if they pick that up, like I would probably pick them in this game if they just had a decent defense right now. The defense, well, we have a Commanders fan in the chat saying the defense has been coming around the last couple weeks, so hopefully that they're trending in the right direction. But right now, stats wise, they're not looking good. That's the reason why I picked the Ravens, because if you can't stop this Ravens offense, if you're not in the top 15 on the defense, you're going to have a tough time. And the Ravens defense is decent too. So that's another thing that's a plus for the Ravens in this matchup. And you got Tucker. He can kick a freaking 70-yard field goal if he wants to. Right?
I agree with that. Yeah, he's but you know, Aubrey and Dallas has kind of overtaken him as the best in the league right now, just to swap it over there.
Jesus. Aubrey has been killing it, fantasy-wise, for sure. I mean, if you've had Aubrey and you dropped him, I know you're kicking yourself right now, because that is the one kicker that I would, if I had on my team, I'd be like, just hold on to him. Even through the bye weeks, I'll add another kicker to my bench. Like, I'm not dropping this guy.
No, you couldn't.
I mean, he's putting up more points than a lot of players right now. Like, it's ridiculous. Usually, you know, that stat goes away by week 5, 6, and right now he's keeping it up right now. So, I mean, with what he's doing, that production where Dallas can just get all the way to the field goal range, or even barely field goal range, and he's able to do what he does and just crushes people's fantasy hopes and dreams if you're on the wrong side of it, which I don't have any of him in any of my leagues. I don't know if y'all do.
No.
Yeah.
I do not.
So he's just been kicking our ass every time we have to face him. Sucks. Sucks every time. Anything upcoming this week that y'all are excited about? Games, players, matchups?
I mean, that's a big one.
What was it?
I was going to say, I mean, that's probably the biggest one, but I think the Dallas-Detroit game has the potential to be pretty good.
Yeah, I would go with that. That's probably one of the ones I'll be tuning into and hope our local coverage doesn't cover the Falcons and the Panthers on Sunday and we're able to watch that game.
Honestly, I'm kind of with you, man. I kind of hope they black it out so I don't have to watch it because
I tell you, I'm maybe a little interested in seeing a local hometown fella, Drake May, maybe get his first start and You know, maybe the Texans will intercept him for a couple pick sixes, and
I would love that. I would love that. That's the one game I will say, if you have any locks out of any of these matchups, like who's gonna win or whatever, obviously you can say the Falcons beating the Panthers, but I really think this Texans team is gonna beat the Patriots. Like, that is my lock. If I was in a Survivor League still, I mean, don't take my word for it, because I'm still not in the Survivor League anymore because I got knocked out. So don't take my advice. But at the same time, Texans is a whale lock. That's my take.
I can't blame you on that.
I mean, you guys have a lock. Do you think there's got to be a team that's going to beat somebody? Atlanta's a pretty good one.
I go Steelers over Raiders.
Steelers over Raiders. I like that too. Yeah, the Steelers. I mean, that defense is just.
Yeah.
I mean, once they get rolling, and then now the offense is starting to pick it up. So if you get that offense going, also with how good that defense has been, like.
Let me change my lock.
Okay.
Philly over Cleveland.
That's a good one too. All right. Would you say? Would you bet a -7.5 on that game?
Probably. The line's at -9 right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Would you bet the -9?
I'd probably bump it up to -9.5 and get a little bit better odds.
Yeah, I feel that. All right. Would you go? What's the line where you just not take it? -13.5?
I don't know, man. The Browns have been so bad. I mean, the Commanders beat the wheels off of them.
The defense is okay, but that's the thing. Is as long as you have a good offense, I think you're going to steamroll that team.
And Philly, I mean, in all fairness, Philly hasn't looked great. But God, you would like to think if the Commanders can make it look like that, you would think Philly with A.J. Brown coming back and Saquon and
yeah.
I mean, you would think they could run all over him too, but I don't know.
You would think Cleveland looks like, I don't know, who would beat the Browns or the Panthers? Who would win that game? Or would you even watch it or just check the score?
I would say I would lean Panthers. I probably wouldn't watch it. I'd probably be on Red Zone, and anytime they get close, Red Zone, then I'd just get to see it. But I would go Panthers, and the reason I say that, not just because I'm a homer, but because the Cleveland's all about their defense or whatever. I think our Panthers offense honestly isn't that bad. I think we're okay. We can score points. I think that our defense is what struggles, but they don't have an offense, so I'm not really too worried about that too much. If they don't have an offense and they kind of look like, where the hell am I going with the ball and stuff like that, I feel like the Panthers will come out. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a blowout. I'm gonna say I wouldn't even bet the -2.5. I'd have to go money line, but I would definitely go Panthers on that one.
Okay.
Now, you say Patriots, then I would say Patriots over the Cleveland Browns. I'm trying to think what's another good team to, like, just throw in that mix. Raiders, maybe?
Raiders, yeah, just have a
without Devontae Adams, like, that's pretty tough. Because I don't know if they'll be able to score against the Cleveland defense, but also the defense for Cleveland sucks. Or not the defense, the offense sucks for Cleveland. So I don't know. That's tough. Especially, is Hunt coming back? Or not Hunt, Chubb coming back? I've been seeing a lot of talks. He's been showing up to practice, but I still haven't seen his projection past 0.
They've got, I think they just opened the 21-day window this past week, I think. Mm-hmm. So I don't see him starting
for another 2
this week, maybe another 1 or 2 weeks after this week. But even then, I think it's going to be slow. slow go. I think they're going to take it easy with him.
Minutes in the chat
And I need
saying,
to get-
go ahead.
I said, yeah, they need to get famous Jameis in there to help the whole team out, and that would help everybody.
Yeah, I know, right? Minutes in the chat saying pretty sure that Denzel Ward got hurt too. So that he was a key to Cleveland's defense. Obviously, Myles Garrett too, but having Ward, they can probably just throw on them now. So I don't know. Yeah, Cleveland's ass. Panthers are ass. Don't bet on them. Either of them. Don't.
No. And I learned not to
They're
bet
going to be on the other
Patriots this
side of
week.
my parlay this week.
Yeah, don't have them in your parlay. What did you say, Dorton?
I said I learned not to bet on the Patriots last week because that's who I chose. I was like, playing the shitty Dolphins, a divisional game.
Man.
They've got to beat this. And I was like, y'all are a bunch of turds, man.
I don't know. I would be scared to pick against the Dolphins just because they got embarrassed the week before that. That's the only I'm like, I don't know if they're going to play shitty another time in a row. I mean, Mike McDaniel looked like he was really embarrassed with the week before. So, but either way, I mean, you're right. They don't have anybody. But the Patriots, the Patriots suck, man. And you see that now.
Well, I figured home game, divisional game, they're going to just grind it out, and it was going to be a 12-9 game,
Right.
No, we went with a 15-10 game, and I lost.
I mean,
what it was. Thank you for, hey, y'all, somebody out there enjoy my $55 more than me.
Yep. That's the way I felt on that Tampa Atlanta game, man. I had Tampa. We were playing softball. We were looking under scores. Oh, Tampa's up by this much. I'm like, oh shit, they got this game. That's a lock. I go home, take a shower, get on the computer, hop on the YouTube TV, and find out the fucking Atlanta Falcons are making a comeback, and watching that comeback all the way until they ended up winning that game. And man, that was crazy. That was a bad start to my pick'ems that week. Hopefully this one's better.
I got faith in you.
All right. Well, we'll go over the pick'ems. Let me tell you who I picked then. All right. So for Thursday, I picked the 49ers over the Seahawks. How do you feel about that one?
49ers high, man. I don't know. That's tough for me. I'm kind of believing in the Seahawks a little bit this year.
They haven't been looking bad, that's for sure. And the 49ers losing to the Giants, wasn't the Giants they just lost to? Yeah, come on, what are we doing?
I don't know, but I usually don't like Thursday night game in general. They seem to usually beat. I mean, nothing like last week. That'll be the highest scoring Thursday night game of the season. I mean, they're usually just not much good value, offensive entertainment like you want when you're playing fantasy football.
True. Another toss-up game. I mean, we already talked about the Ravens Commanders, but the Packers Cardinals. What do y'all think about that? Because the Packers have been playing well, but so have the Cardinals. Cardinals are 2-3, Packers are 3-2, and they're playing in Lambeau.
I took the Packers.
Was it just because of home advantage, or do you think they're just?
I just think they're the better team. I think the Cardinals are frauds.
Jordan Love's back. Every time he's in, he's looking good. I mean, I think they're undefeated with him, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're undefeated, but I might be wrong. But the Cardinals, that is that team that can be called a fraud. I think they're that mid-tier team. I think they're within the top 15, but I don't think they can squeak in the top 10. That's kind of the team that I see them as. Scrolling down, Buccaneers Saints. That's a team who I think is starting to become a fraud. I'm starting to think that Saints team is becoming a fraud.
Well, they're screwed now without Carr. I mean, not that he was doing great, but any team that loses their QB1 is gonna
Right.
He's gonna have some issues.
Well, we were just talking about the Packers. Without Jordan Love, I don't see that team in the top. But with him, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, they just announced Spencer Rattler. He'll be starting for the Saints this week, an old former Gamecock. So maybe he might bring a little better energy.
Sling it, man.
He loved to throw it deep. You know, I mean, he liked to sling it around. I mean, that fella they had in there Monday night, I'm not sure if they found him at J.C. Penney's or what, but he sure didn't look like a damn NFL quarterback.
I think they found him at a pride parade. If you saw that picture earlier.
Damn it! You're gonna get kicked off the AM radio.
We're getting canceled before we even got started.
Hang on. Can I drag this? I can't drag this on the screen. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't. Ah, shit. I can't do it. All right. Well, you'll see it another time. I'll post a picture later on. You know what? Just imagine it. How about that? Oh man. Well, anything else you guys want to talk? Maybe the last game I'll throw in there is because we are talking about the Lions Cowboys should be a good game. The Bills and Jets Monday Night Football. New coach. Well, I mean, I guess the defensive coordinator's taking over. Offense. I don't know which one it is, but they're taking over for the Jets. Josh Allen and them have not been looking good. What are y'all's thoughts on the Bills at the Jets?
I would lean the Bills. I mean, I think if Cook is not healthy, that's a big loss for them. They might have to take that into consideration, but I don't know, man. The Jets just seem like a dumpster fire all around. Offense sucks when it shouldn't, and then defense hasn't been playing that great, which is supposed to be the strong suit.
So taking the head coach away, do you think it's nothing much is going to change the week after, like the following week, or do you feel like a drastic change will happen?
I don't know, man. I mean, you still got the same offensive coordinator. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see
true.
If they rinse and repeat or if they make a change. I don't know.
I mean, because their defense hasn't been terrible, but the Bills' defense isn't terrible either. So that's where I feel like the Bills do have the edge. It's just like, okay, well, Bills can play defense, Jets can play defense, okay, whatever. But then offense, what would you rather take? Obviously, the Bills over the Jets' offense. So you got to go with the Bills. But you're saying James Cook is possibly out, so will that throw them in a loop? I don't know. If he's out.
Possibly him out. Shakir might be out again.
Yeah, so that's definitely like an offense that can, doesn't have full power. Because if Shakir's in, that's a pretty good squad. And then also with Cook, if Cook's in, then you can see the production he does.
Yeah, I mean, fully healthy, I'm taking the Bills all day, every day.
Yeah, but now they're banged up, so it's like, who got that edge on offense? I can't really tell you.
No, I mean, I see a little Lust-style performance from the Jets. If there was, Salah couldn't talk to the team, it's like, hey, dude, we're grabbing you by the wrist and dragging you to the car. Maybe everybody's like, "Foo, man, that dude's out of here."
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I want to know what.
I mean, like a 21-17, 24-20. I mean, traditionally, all those games are going to be in that manner.
Yeah, I picked the.
I'm gonna go with the Jets. I mean, okay. I'm definitely not picking them in any money form, but
right.
So I'm not that confident.
But for a fun thing on a podcast, you're picking the Jets.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm with Bunk though. I will ride with the Bills. I did pick them, but now I'm talking just damn near. I'm talking myself out of it, but at the same time, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I do think the Bills, as long as one of those guys can start from the Bills, I think they'll win. if they're both out, I won't be able to switch my pick, so I'm just gonna keep it the Bills because our stuff locks on Thursday, which is stupid. I mean,
Yeah,
they can make it to where they change it before game time, but
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm gonna roll with the Bills, but I do think if both of them are out, I think the Jets have a good shot.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see Monday night at 11ish
Right.
o'clock.
11, probably midnight.
Probably midnight. I just depends on what the score looks like. Hopefully, I got a good lead, but really no
Yeah.
lead safe if you've got Allen coming on the field. I mean, he can put 50 up, and
know.
you'd be pissed off because you didn't have him on your team.
I know, right? Well, I think that's it for this week's episode of the Laces Out podcast. Good luck to everybody. Bunk and Waterboy, hopefully you guys get a win as well. And myself, hopefully we can keep this streak going where all the hosts of the show will get another win. And so week 7 we can be happy again.
I hope
Sounds
so,
like a
man.
plan.
I mean, these people don't want to listen to a bunch of losers talking, right?
That's right. No, we're gonna have to get the wins for these all of our 2-3 viewers. But hopefully Bobby doesn't get a win. That's who I'm playing this week. So shout out to Bobby. Go fuck yourself. We'll see you guys in week 7. Anything else you guys want to say?
No, hey, just good luck, enjoy the games, and let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Peace out, guys.